This is a super boring Adidas box, but what's inside is one of the most beautiful boots I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm gonna actually look at them in person right now and give you guys a full reaction, full unboxing, full on-feet portion of the Adidas X Speedflow.1. Here we go. Right on, fam. So as usual, size 9 US for me. These come in the super boring Adidas box. And again, I wish Adidas would do a better job with the boxes. To be fair, cuts cost, and so I get it, but I would love them to see all of the top end models be put in the similar boxes that all the plus variants are put in, those really gorgeous drawer style. I think if you're gonna pay over $200 for a pair of boots, you better get a nice box. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Something like this is, I think, more of a takedown model box, but hey, that's my own opinion. I'm just a pro footballer who's on YouTube and does unboxing videos. So sponsor me, Adidas, if you want, and then we can talk, hey? So here we go with the unboxing. Very excited for these. These are in the black, blue, and red color. So it says so black, Sonic, and yellow. That's not right. This is in a different language. I don't know why that was so difficult. Okay, let's hop into the unboxing. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Wow. Yeah, okay, so these are genuinely probably in my top 5 boots of all time of how they look. Black with little blue accents and a little tiny bit of pink/red accent on the lace and then on the bottom on the sole plate. Carbotex insole, sprint frame, updated sprint frame that you guys have seen before on both the Speedflow and the Ghosted. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get these out of the box and just absolutely drool over them for a good 5 or 10 minutes while I explain everything to do with the X Speedflow.1. Let's take some of this garbage out. It actually keeps structure in the boot, so no complaints there. So, oh, there's more. It's like Christmas. So these boots genuinely are, I think, in my top 5 boots that I've ever seen in real life. I think these look so spectacular, and because I do love both the .1 and the Plus, I'm actually considering getting the Plus as well just to have, because I do think these look just outrageous. I think they look so good. And I actually think I like this sole plate with the matte, like blue-purple color more than I do with the metallic-y one on the Plus, but that's just a personal preference. So here we go, guys. Holy moly. They're really light, obviously, as the Speedflow.1s are. They are a really nice pair of light football boots. These are going to be 6.9 to 7.2 or so-ish ounces, depending on what size you are. These remind me, and this is so interesting, these remind me of like Black Panther colors, and I think that's why I love them so much. They're such a good looking pair of boots. I just cannot get over it. With this sort of like matte sheen to the bottom, and then you've got the exposed Carbotex insole with that carbon fiber on there. God, so cool. So this is basically a zero distraction fit. That was the idea. It's so outrageously soft. Like this entire upper is just insane how soft it is. It's got a super thin upper. The entire forefoot feels like it's probably the most seamless and barefoot type sensation you're gonna get on a ball, maybe outside of the other 2 speed boots on the market. That being said, I think the other 2 speed boots are a very different type of feel, the Puma Ultra being incredibly, much more plasticky feeling, and the Vapor feeling probably similar to this, but a lot more stiff, whereas this is just so plush, so nice. It's got a fantastic amount of snapback. Like, this is awesome. Best sole plate on the market, in my opinion. Pretty easy Chevron studs with this little arrow pointing forward, and then bladed studs for your bottom 6. So pretty standard. It's got the prime knit, predominantly prime knit upper with this texturing on and coating on the outside, which allows it to have a little bit more structured. The agility frame connects, which is this part, your speed frame and agility frame is this sole plate as well. So Carbotex speed frame outsole, supports the foundation of fast play and movements of linear speed, and the carbon insert gives you a lot more explosive movement. So that's sort of technical details. I do think these are absolutely fantastic. As you guys know from the Messi edition, I will not be wearing those because those are the special edition ones. Those are the ones he won the Copa America in. He was still a Barcelona player, RIP. These, though, I will for sure be playing in, and if possible, if these are the ones that I decide to go with that are in my rotation more predominantly, I will probably order another pair of this exact same pair because I think they look so good. I cannot get over how good these look. So that's it for kind of the tech details. I think as far as speed boots go, the current generation, the Puma Ultra 1.1 and 1.2 were my favorite speed boots probably 6 months ago, if you were to ask me, basically before the recent release of the Puma Ultra 1.3s, which no longer are the top spot. These are the top spot for me. Before, it was the first place was the Ultra 1.2, 1.1, because they're basically the same boot. Second place was the Vapor 13 Elite, and then third place was the predecessor to this one, which was the X Ghosted 0.1. The X Ghosted Plus, not my favorite boot, but X Ghosted 0.1 were decent, and they actually were wider than the Vapor, but I liked the Vapor better because it was a knit feel. This got thrown into the market and absolutely changed the game, changed my opinion, changed everything in my opinion. These are incredible. These are the #1 speed boot on the market for me, for my feet, for my preferences. This color is probably the best boot on the market right now as far as the way it looks, in my opinion. I think these just look spectacular. And then second place for me is probably the Puma Ultra 1.3. And then I would say the Vapor has taken the third place. I have not tried the Mizuno Morelia Neo Beta 3s, but I'm definitely going to try to get those in as soon as possible to try on. Those are going to be a little bit thin, I think, on the thinner side, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And maybe a possible substitution to this or an addition to this. These are incredible, guys. You know how I feel about these. They're amazing. It's a knitted upper for a speed boot that is so light, so uncompromising, and so simple. There's no grip elements. It's just a really nice texturing matte finish on the outside with the collar that they did listen to. So again, because part of the reason why the X Ghosted 0.1s got last place in my top 3 speed boots is because... Well, guys, I apologize. My microphone must have died in this moment, so apologies there. Basically, what I'm explaining is that the reason I wasn't a fan of the previous generation X model, the X Ghosted, was because of that collar, and that I absolutely love this collar because it is a prime knit mesh upper on your ankle instead of that plasticky feeling that you got. So anyway, that's kind of the last sense of words that I was saying here. Let's just hop straight into the on-feet portion of the video where my microphone was working just fine. Thanks, guys. All right, fam, I have the X Ghosted 0.1s in this gorgeous Black Panther looking colorway with, of course, the blue, not the purple. And I am absolutely stoked to try these on. Obviously loved the Messi editions, but I think they are a boot that I'm not gonna wear, as I mentioned before, just because they are such a special edition. Now, these boots, if I remember correctly, I slide into super easily, which is really encouraging for those of us who have wider feet. This is going to be a pretty thin shoe just because most speed boots tend to be pretty thin, except for that Puma Ultra 1.1 and 1.2 that I mentioned. That was like one of my top boots of last year. But right away, oh yeah, so immediately my foot slides right in, and there's a little bit of pressure on the outside of the boot right away, but honestly, that's no problem. I kind of get that on every boot just because my feet are really wide in that area. But yeah, my feet slide straight in, and it's very, very comfortable right out of the box. I don't know what is going on. Some weird, anyway, whatever. So get this sorted. I'll get the laces tight, or as tight as I can sort of muster without having any foot pain. But these are really nice boots, guys. I think that they've done a fantastic job with the X Ghosted of making such a thin, pliable upper without compromising on any of the
lockdown, which I think is pretty sweet. And the X Ghosted Plus, which is, or X Speedflow, goodness, I keep saying X Ghosted. The Speedflow Plus is a fantastic pair of laceless boots if that's what you're into. But for somebody like me who really likes the laces, as I mentioned in the Copa video, that's either coming up, depending on when this video is released, the Copa Plus, I'm not really sure if I'll keep just because there's a little bit of slippage, but a boot like this that's got a really nice fluid sensation, really wraps your foot without feeling super tight. When I get into a Mercurial, especially the Vapor 13 and 14, my feet feel like they're just totally constricted. Whereas with these, I feel like the upper would stretch and mold to my foot a little bit more easily, which I really enjoy. And for a speedboat, that's out there on the water, a speed boot, something like this would be awesome for players who have either thin foot. You can totally fit in these. I think a medium foot would fit perfectly, and a wide-footed player, especially like me, I can, you know, it'll take a little bit of break-in time, but really they're stretchy enough, the upper is malleable enough, and the tongue with the sort of that fly knit, prime knit material, it's prime knit for Adidas, so the prime knit material right in the middle is awesome because it allows a lot of flexibility in that midfoot, which is just fantastic. So I genuinely think I'm gonna play in these because I think these are super comfortable. As far as like stability goes, the traction, I love this sole plate. You guys know I rave about the sole plate. I think it's the absolute best on the market, bar none. There's nothing better than this. The only caveat is if they made an AG sole plate with rounded studs, with conical studs that had the Carbotex insole in them. In that case, I would actually take that because I really love conical studs, especially for somebody who needs to turn and pivot. But as far as a speed boot goes, there is nothing better than this type of sole plate, guys. It is really fantastic. These shoes fit really well. I can already tell they would be an absolute joy to play in. I could slip into these and probably manage to play an entire game with not a whole lot of pain, which is actually a huge deal for me as somebody who has wide feet. These genuinely are a fabulous, fabulous pair of football boots, and I cannot stress enough, if you guys want a pair that's really lightweight, it's got Chevron studs, it's got a really aggressive sole plate, it's obviously got the carbon fiber insole with the Carbotex, and then a knit upper that's covered in a little bit of a sticky material, but it's not too sticky, and that's kind of, they've hit that really nice medium spot. So if you're in the market for something like that, there's nothing better than the Speedflow in my opinion. And the Speedflow.1 and the Plus I can both recommend because I've actually tried both on my feet, but these guys are really fantastic. I definitely think I'm going to be keeping these to play training and in games in because they are just such a comfortable pair of football boots for me, and I love the way they fit and feel. You guys will see some up close pictures as I've been talking, obviously, so in those you can see that my feet are definitely pretty wide in the midfoot, but this shoe does accommodate it with the stretchiness of the upper and the ability for it to adapt and mold to my foot. So I would give these an 8.5 out of 10. Genuinely, they're that good. An 8.5 out of 10 for the Speedflow.1. I think they are a fabulous pair of football boots. As I said before, this colorway almost bumps it up to a 9 out of 10. These are just incredible, incredible boots. And I am just thrilled to be able to have a pair of these that I'm actually going to play in. I obviously have tried on those Messies a ton of different times when I'm in my office just doing video edits and I want to take a break because I love the feel of these boots, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how they break in over time and how comfortable they get. As you can see, they're fitting pretty well and I'm not having any foot pain, which is a huge deal. So that's it for the video, guys. Again, these are like an 8 point, I'll even give them an 8.75 out of 10. So 8.75 out of 10. One of the highest ratings I've given any boot on this channel so far. And yeah, these are awesome, guys. I absolutely love it. And I will be wearing the Speedflow.1 for sure in the next couple months as I get ready for my preseason, off-season training stuff. So that's it for the video, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're into things like that. Like the video if you got value from it. And as always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.